Hi everybody, I'm David Wortmann, founder and CEO of DWR Eco. We were kicking around some ideas what could be my contribution to this conference of these 2 days, and we thought it could be maybe a good idea to give a little overview about this increasingly complex ecosystem. So the idea was to give you a full picture of what's going on, and I have to tell you already now, I only can show you work in progress, because the deeper we actually looked into who are the investors, who are the incubators, who are the accelerator programs, we have seen across Europe an increasing number of actors coming into the scene. So if you think that you could add to the contribution here a little later, please let me know. But before we start into that, clean tech, green tech has been very interchangeable vocabularies in our space. We know fintech, we know real tech, so all these ecosystems are actually existing for other industries. Here we are not really clear yet. Some use the term clean tech, some green tech. But in any case, I think the common well, let's say motivation, which all of us have, either those investing or those building up new companies around new processes or products or new technologies, is to contribute to sustainable development. Very often in our space, we are not only having business-driven well, innovations, but as well technology-driven innovations, which of course take a lot longer, need a lot more capital, a lot more patient capital as well. So that's certainly something which is different to the e-commerce space, for example. But another thing, and I will come to this a little later as well, is that our industries, our technologies, our products are very often bound to highly regulatory regimes. If you think about the energy market, the water market, the circular economy markets, we are really tied up with regulations which are, well, has been done in former times, which are not really fit to our innovations which we do right now. But I come to this a little later, and let's first have a look into well, more the theory of ecosystems. You probably have seen similar slides already before. We see that certain players play a very important part in the beginning of the development of startups, for example, university spin-off programs. We see accelerator, incubator programs coming in a little later, even before the founding stage. And then, of course, business angels and then classical VCs or private equity coming in a little later towards the expansion stage, maturity stage, preparing the exit at the end of the day. But now let's look into what's in the clean tech space here. This looks very busy, and I've put this up here on purpose just to show you that there are a lot of universities, a lot of technology programs across Europe already building up programs to support startups, to support their founding teams within their universities. I already have to tell you now that our objective was to show this to you here, but well, within the process we have decided we will put up an online tool in a couple of weeks where we put a database more or less behind this, and then if a startup is looking for a program for potential partners, either on the investment or on the accelerator side, they can just put in their needs and we will show them who they could talk to. So this is on the scientific hubs, and on the accelerator incubator part, we have looked into all of these programs already. If you don't see yourself on the map here, please let us know. We, of course, can differentiate here between independent accelerator and incubator programs, like Ecosummit is setting up something right now as well, right? I've learned this morning. But there are, of course, a lot of other programs out there as well, which are specifically working on the clean tech sector. And then, of course, corporate programs like Energy, E.ON, and others who are involved in that. On the co-working space, we see a lot of programs as well. A lot of them are not actually there to fund, to give money, but these are programs very often set up by local governments to attract investments or to attract local jobs into the areas. But here as well, we see a lot of co-working space specifically addressing the clean tech sector. If we look at the investors and VC side, a lot of them are sitting here as well. Of course, we got here independent players, and then we got the corporate players, which are helping the sector to really grow, and all of them have a special focus on the clean tech sector here. If we look at a case, Philip, I'll look at you. We have discussed these slides before. I don't know, discussing whether they were right or not. But here you see that Tondo did a more or less classical way throughout these phases. Though you didn't use any specific university research, you were not a spin-off of a university, but you have built up your innovation around a innovative business process. A lot of you know the Tondo case, but you have joined the Climate Kick program, and it was probably a good start in terms of money, in terms of funding, and maybe some networking activities as well. And then later on, you went the classical way of attracting business angels and as well corporate investors and VCs. I think remarkable here is that a lot of your early investors are still sticking with you. For example, the business angel 10X has done a few rounds with you altogether, which is not very typical. And then later as well, the recent funding in 2016, 5 of the 6 previous investors actually stick with you as well. So you see there is a very classical, nice way which Tondo was showing how this could be done. Yeah, but and I wanted to come back to this because this is a specific thing which I wanted to address. I've been working in this sector since the last 15 or 16 years. I've been starting to work on the regulatory side, in the environmental space, in the energy space, and throughout all of these years, and you probably are aware of that, these industries are really bound to regulatory restrictions, but also, of course, some opportunities. But very often we see as well that the European Commission in Europe or the national member states are not very quickly in adapting the policies which are actually needed for your space as well. So here I see a certain lack in the ecosystem that and today as well in the conference, I have not heard a lot about the regulatory framework, though this could be a big constraint in the market. So from our point of view, understanding the regulatory environment is more or less something where you, this is a function of business development. So if you are not only monitoring and complying with the regulatory environment, but as well trying to change the regulatory environment, you are much more effective as well in your business development activities and your scalability of your product at the end of the day. And then through that, of course, you are able to be much more targeted around your communication towards your potential customer as well. So this is why we as DWR Eco have put together these services, both for the startups and on the other hand for investors, incubator and corporate programs as well, helping them to understand the market and the policies in Europe throughout all of these different environmental technology regulations, helping, of course, to communicate as a full-service communication agency, and as well helping to define the strategy around business development. So that is something which we are offering right now. And again, if you are willing to participate and to give us more information around your VC program, your investors' need, we will put this into our database, and we are able in a few weeks' time to put this into an online tool where startups actually can have a matchmaking tool with you as an investor. Well, thank you very much. We have been working with a lot of these partners already together, and I wish you a good discussion in the panel.